All right, so first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to come out and talk to us today. Can you just reintroduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Karen Freeman Wilson. I'm the president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League and former mayor of Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. All right. And first question for you is, how did you enjoy the conference today? Excuse me.
This was an amazing conference because it raised issues that are going to be at the top of mind for voters in the coming year as we look towards the presidential election, but also as we look towards down ballot races as well.
Definitely. I wanted to ask about that. Definitely being a former mayor, we know that turnout in local elections is dismal, but we also know that the impact of local elections can have like kind of the most immediate impact on you. So how do we help bridge that divide and that gap?
You know, what I often tell people when we think about the turnout, when we think about the importance of elections to everyday citizens, is to really raise the issue of getting people to vote. It's not just registration. So many organizations, we're going to register voters, we're going to register voters. Every organization that I'm in now, I say, nope, we're not going to register voters. We're going to encourage people to go to the polls because you can register millions of voters. And if the turnout is just 10 to 15 to 20%, like we've seen it in the last few years, then you've not done a thing. The other thing is that you really have to break it down for people. Why should I vote for the school board president or the school board member? Because that school board member determines what type of food your child eats, what types of books they read, or don't read, what type of access they have to an exemplary education or just an okay education. And when you put it in human and in personal terms, then people are more likely to see the relevance of it to their everyday lives.
Definitely. And thinking about the panel, what takeaways are you going to walk away with from this panel?
Well, I think one of the takeaways that I have is that people do have distrust in the electoral system. So I began to think about what are the ways that I can help to enhance trust, to improve trust, and really improve election integrity. It's one thing to say that nobody's tampering with the electoral process, but it's a totally different thing to help people to really believe in the importance and in the relevance of voting to their own lives.
Definitely. And there's some really recent poll numbers that show not only is Biden's approval rating in the tank, but particularly with black voters, they're souring on Biden after voting for him overwhelmingly. There's kind of a fear with that's going to lead to low voter turnout in 2024. Do you agree with that analysis of what that might lead to? And then if so, like how do we fix that?
I think that there's certainly a sense, and I think a lot of the distrust or the souring on President Biden has to do with the lack of information. I mean, the thing that I encourage people to think about is what has he done as it relates to the cost of pharmaceuticals? What has he done as it relates to securing and maintaining the ACA or the Obamacare Act? What has he done or attempted to do as it relates to student loans? The fact that there hasn't been a total forgiveness program doesn't lie at his feet. It lies at the feet of those who don't want to see student loans forgiven. So I think that if people begin to think about that, I understand that people want to, foster bipartisanship and nonpartisanship, but you have to have good information. So if you're going to make a decision between candidates, it has to be based on accurate information.
And how do we ensure that happens?
Well, first you have to seek information from reliable sources. If your only source of information is social media, then you are committed to ignorance. That's all that says about you. But you can look at social media, but you have to check and verify this information. Check it and verify it with news. Check it and verify it with what you can read and what you can research about candidates on your own. If you get your information from multiple sources, it's more likely to be accurate in the end.
There we go. Appreciate your time.
All
Thank
right,
you so
thank
much.
you. All right, take care now.